guys, welcome back to my channel, and let's just get right into it. So here we are with the MAC Prep and Prime Primer, and I'll be placing that all over my face. Then I'll be using the Becca Under Eye Brightening Cream, and I'll be using that under my under eyes. I'm just using my fingers to pat it down. Then I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I'm using the Buff and Blend brush, and I'm just placing that onto my skin and I'm pressing it down. Then I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Light Medium Honey, and I'm doing that under my eyes or the forehead and down the bridge of my nose, and I'm using that just to highlight my face. Then I'm using the Kabuki brush from Sigma F86, and I am pressing that down again onto my skin. I am patting it down and melting it in. I am not rubbing it. I do not want to move that foundation, that product underneath. Then I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in dark brown. I'm just filling in my brows with that. Don't worry guys, I'll be listing all the products down below. Then I'll be using the Fenty Beauty Contour Stick in Mocha, and I'll be using that on my bridge, down the bridge of my nose, my cheekbones, my forehead, and then also my chin and my jawline. Then I'm using the Small Pro Stippling Brush number 42 from Sephora, and I am just pushing that into the skin and slightly blending upwards. This will just help blend it in, give it a nice flawless look, give you that little shadow effect that you need for the contour. And again, I'm pressing that into the skin and blending it into the hairline when I'm doing my forehead. And then for my nose, I'm using the Flat Precision brush from Sigma Beauty, the P80 brush. Now I'm using to set all that is the Laura Mercier setting powder, and I'm using the MAC 189 brush. And I am just placing that under my under eyes and all the areas that I actually did to highlight my zone. So up to my forehead and then down the bridge of my nose. Okay, now I'm using the Skin Mineralize powder from MAC Cosmetics, and that is in golden, medium golden. And I am just placing that all over my under eyes and around my face as well. Now I'm using the Becca Cosmetics in Capri Coast Bronzer, and I'm using the 109 brush from MAC. Okay, now I'm using the Smashbox the Cali Contour Kit, and I'm using the color contour with the MAC 109 brush, and I am just putting that under like the contoured areas, and then I am highlighting with the highlight powder with the Pro Sculpting Brush 99. Now I'm using the Paint Pot in Soft Ochre onto my eyelids to prime my eyes. Okay, I'm taking the Makeup Addiction Crease Blender brush, and I'm using the color Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek, and I'm using that as a transition shade, and I'm using that above the crease and slightly winging that out. I'm giving it more of a winging look because I want my eyes to look a little bit more smoky and give it a little bit more of an almond shape. So I'm using that, I'm buffing that out so that way it does not give me any harsh lines, and it will give it more of a blended look. Then I'm going to be using the color Soft Brown from MAC. And again, I'm putting that on the outer V and then slightly into the crease this time. So I'll give it more of a blended look, and I'm putting that a little bit more onto the outer lid. Then I'm going to be using the color Saddle again on the outer V, and then putting that into the crease a little bit and then buffing that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to be using the color Mocha from Makeup Geek, and I'm putting it tightly more into the outer lash line, and then will be buffing that on the lower lash line as well on the outer side to give it a little bit more of an open eye. And just buffing that out and making sure there's no harsh lines. Then I'm going to be using the foil from Makeup Geek Cosmetics, and I'm using the color in the Spotlight. So I'm using the shader brush from Makeup Addiction. It's a flat brush, and I'm carving out on my lid so that way it will give it more of a cleaner look and a sharper look. Now I'm taking the liner brush from Makeup Addiction, and I'm using the color Corrupt from Makeup Geek, and I'm just placing that onto my upper lash line, just tapping it on and lining it, and then I will be smoking it out slightly and putting it to a slight wing liner. Not a true wing liner, but just kind of like a smoky wing liner. And I'm just buffing that out, and when I'm blending it upwards, so that way it'll just blend into the the outer V shadow that I did before. Now I'm using the Far Sally Jelly Bean, and I'm placing that onto my highlight area, then onto the cupids, and then onto my nose. This highlighter is amazing. It does do the job, but it does dry pretty fast, so I need to blend it up pretty quickly. Now I'm using the Duo Glow Color Alba from Natasha Denona, and I'm just placing that in between the contour and into the highlight. This will then give it a blended look. Now I'm using the Citrus Palace from Natasha Denona, and again I'm using the blush and just putting a little bit on the apples of the cheek. Then I'm taking the Extreme Glow and Glow Powder and I'm putting that on top of the Far Sally Jelly Bean highlight, and I'm just giving it a little bit of more of an extra oomph to my highlight. Okay, then I'm going to be lining my lips with Whirl Lip Liner from MAC Cosmetics. Then I'll be using the Jeffree Star Liquid Lipstick in Mannequin. I absolutely love this color. It is the perfect nude shade. Then I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury powder in number 2, and I'm just placing that all over my face again, and it's just going to give it a airbrush flawless finish. Then I'll be using the NYX Matte Setting Spray. Alright, so here's the final look. Hopefully you guys like it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you do, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, y'all.